Hello and I don't know how he does that. Sorry y'all, it's indeed not Verkayu, but it's the other jungle expert Flaress back again here to bring you yet another video where we're going to go over some unpopular strategies or picks that were able to climb Challenger with ease and teach you how to play it. This time around we'll be looking at Shyvana because despite her having two variations from the AD and the AP wizard build in the jungle, there's this new build players are playing in Korean Challenger that is absolutely crushing it in their games and makes the use of Conquer and Dust Dance for the ultimate lifesteal build. So what is the ultimate lifesteal build? And no, it's not 5 Bloodthirsters. Well, you have the lifesteal from Death Dance, a healing boost from Spirit Visage, while Conquer, Taste of Blood, and Ravenous Hunter all heal you on your abilities, which will just make it super annoying just to kill you, especially later in the game. On top of that, players are opting to take Ignite and Teleport much like a Hecarim top would, relying on Shyvana's W burst movement speed to chase down foes or to evade ganks. The Ignite allows for Shiv to skirmish and win 1v1s with ease, while also keeping the Teleport to help with flanks and even split pushing as well. You'll be maxing E into W and lastly Q for your skill progression, and with your 40% CDR from runes and items, you'll be whizzing across the map and your opponent's dead bodies. Hurling fireballs marks your target with the % max HP damage per auto, which makes it good for shredding those tanks that seem to have popped up recently, and even backline carries, cause you'll just be too tanky for them to deal meaningful damage to you. Alright, so now that you all have a general idea of what's going on here with the build, let's dive a little deeper. Starting off with the itemization, your starting items are going to be a longsword refillable a majority of the time, but you can swap that out to a Dorn shield in ranged matchups. As for your first item, you'll be rushing Death Dance, and then you'll build Ionian Boots of Lucidity. Yes, those boots are still in the game, and I'll explain why you'll want those boots in a minute. After that, your third item will just be a Spirit Visage to round out your core items. Once you get past your first 3 items, your 4th and 5th items are really interchangeable depending on the game state, but you'll be choosing between a Blade of the Ruined King and a Sterix Gauge. And lastly, if your game manages to even make it this far, or you're just stomping so hard and have a lot of gold, your last item will be a Guardian Angel or a Thornmail. Some of the situational items you want to keep in the back of your head would be a Randuin's Omen to replace your Spirit Visage against those heavy crit AD comps, or a Frozen Mallet to replace your Blade of the Ruined King if enemy team comp is just mostly squishy targets. As for our runes, you'll be running Conquer, Triumph, Legend Tenacity, and Last Stand instead of Kupta whatever. As for your 3 choices between Adaptive, Armor, MR, Health, and CDR, you'll be taking the 10% scaling CDR and double magic resist runes versus an AP matchup and double armor versus an AD matchup. Pretty simple, right? And because with your core items all together, you'll be sitting on 40% CDR with just 3 items, thanks to the 10% from Death Dance, 10 from your boots, and 10 from your Spirit Visage, with the other 10 being from your runes. And before I move on to Shiv's power spikes, your ability sequencing will be E, W, then Q. Alright Flaress, you're telling me to run scaling CDR and lucidity boots? Something seems really fishy here. And to that I say, go fish. For this Shyvana setup, you'll be bringing Ignite and Teleport, much like you may have seen with the recent Hecarim top builds that Licorice has shown. The Lucidity boots will reduce your Ignite and Teleport cooldown by 10%, which allows you to have your Ignite up running more often for your skirmishes, and your Teleport, which will allow for TP ganks and flanks, as well as split pushing more frequently as well. For our power spike, Shyvana's power in the lane phase begins at level 3, and then again at level 6 when she can benefit from her dragon form. And for her item spikes, it really begins after completing your Death Dance. You become immensely tanky from damage being converted to a bleed, as well as the armor and MR that recently it received. And not only that, but you have the sustain from the lifesteal and a good chunk of AD to boost your damage. And when you finish your core with Spirit Visage, your sustain and tankiness are legit broken. And if you get the chance to build a Thornmail, it is legit hysterical as the damage from it heals you to full. For this next section, we'll need to talk about how to succeed as Shyvana in the lane phase, and what you'll need to do to transition into the mid and late game to win your games. First off, your main goal is to reach level 3 without getting killed. Because you have no flash, you've practically begged the enemy jungler to come gank you, so don't over-aggress and just be patient. After that, you're going to want to try and fish with your E's to see if you can't hit your opponent, but be sure to do so through the wave. In case you do miss, at least you can farm the minions a little easier then. If you do hit them, be sure to have a good idea where the enemy jungler is, as you'll need to use your speed boost from your W to chase down and trade onto them. Odds are that they took teleport, so you have the advantage with your ignite to win you most fights. Otherwise, keep being mindful and being patient until level 6, and you'll have your dragon form, which is where your perfect Holter instinct is unlocked. At this point, you'll want to jump on top of them at any chance you get and run them down for easy kills, or you can hold it while you take platings if you need an escape. One last thing before I move on to the mid game is that because Shyvana is typically a jungler, her damage numbers factor versus jungle creeps, so when you find yourself with nothing to do, you can easily take your jungler's Gromp or Krugs and cycle it for them while also netting yourself a slight XP and gold advantage. As for Shiv's mid game, I can keep this short, sweet, and to the point. In the mid game, Shyvana pushes outside lanes as far as she can and shouldn't have any issues with 1v1s thanks to her taking ignite. And as for the other thingy, you'll just want to look to rotate through the enemy jungle for picks or to TP flank on overextended enemies. So for teamfights, Shyvana's teamfighting is relatively simple. Flank with dragon form and try to chase down a carry. And if you can't get to the back line, peel back and hit the front line instead, which should be a breeze thanks to your E's max HP damage. This build allows you to be a good peeling tank that's beefy and has enough damage to give your opponents a run for their money. As is the tradition in these videos, we like to give a quick TLDR at the end of the video, so here goes. Shyvana benefits immensely from the stats Death's Dance provides, effectively giving her a good damage and tankiness from one item. Your runes are going to be Conquer and Domination, while you run Scaling CDR and double resistances to whatever damage type your lane opponent is. Starting items are going to be Longsword and Refillable, but Door and Shield can be substituted versus ranged matchups. And your core items are Death's Dance, Lucidity Boots, and Spirit Visage, which puts you at 40% CDR thanks to your runes, and even lowers your cooldowns on your Ignite and Teleport. Speaking of Ignite and Teleport, you're running Ignite and Teleport. Your power spikes are going to be at level 3 and 6, and item spikes is after your Death's Dance. For your early game, chill out till level 3, and then fish with your E's before you attempt to trade. You have Ignite, which in most cases will give you the winning edge in most skirmishes. Level 6, look to fight whenever your ultimate is up, except under towers, don't take me too literal. Mid game, just push out the side lanes and pressure towers, roam into the enemy jungle to steal jungle camps, and look for a pick or even flank opponents with teleport or with your ultimate. In team fights, flank with your dragon form and try to chase down a carry. And if you can't get onto a backline carry, just be a frontline for your team and shred the enemy frontline with your E's % max HP damage while also peeling for your carries. Well, that's all I got for today, so I hope you enjoyed this video covering this amazing Shyvana top strategy, and if you have any champion or unusual playstyle in mind that you think should be featured, be sure to let me know down below in the comments section. Otherwise, be sure to check out our other content on our channel where we regularly put out high and low elo tier lists, as well as our other content over at Mobalytics.gg. As always, thank you all so much for watching, stay safe out there, and have a wonderful rest of your day as we see you in the next one, Summoners.